You tapping in real quick for this UFC fight night in Abu Dhabi. Cory Sandhagen versus Umar. Y'all better go lock this young man the fuck in y'all parlays this weekend, in my personal opinion. Nurmagomedov. In this video right here, this is the final run through slash I have a few parlays to offer video. You know what I mean? Nothing major. The prelims, main card, whole card parlay video will be uploaded around dinner time this evening. These parlays right here that I'm going to offer you in this video while we run through the card one last time real fucking quick is, just a few parlays that I've already put the fuck in personally. These are a few of my personal parlays that I've already, put in, dropped some paper on, parlayed together. You know what I mean? Real quick, Dumas versus Tallulah. Leave that shit the fuck alone, y'all. Just leave it the fuck alone, man. That's not in bets, parlays, haymakers, prelims, whole cards, nothing. Leave it the fuck alone, man. Leave it alone, man. You know what I mean? I want absolutely nothing to do with this fight. It's a complete pass. Just leave this motherfucking fight alone, man. You feel me? The boy Jai Hubert versus Rolando. I'm rocking with Rolando as an underdog. I caught him at a decent number. He's down to like I believe plus 136 or something like that right now in some spots, man. Listen, I'm all over him, man. You know what I mean? I like Rolando in this matchup. I like him to do the better body of work over the course of 15 minutes to secure the unanimous decision and honestly find the finish inside the distance by clipping Jai Hubert and getting him up out of there via KO, TKO. You know what I mean? I'm on Rolando, though. Victoria versus Sam. I'm locking Victoria up, man. Sam's tough. I can honestly see a night where Victoria, finds the finish inside the distance and gets her out of there on the feet. You understand what I'm saying to you? But it goes the full 15 minutes. It goes the distance. It's Victoria by unanimous decision, and I have her hurting Sam more than once in this matchup if it goes the full 15 minutes. Sam's tough. She's solid. But this is a winnable matchup for Victoria in my personal opinion. So I'm all over her. Guram versus Jordan. I already said how I feel about Guram. Fuck a Guram. You know what I mean? I don't respect his entrance into the UFC. I've faded him every opportunity that I've gotten, and it's worked for me more than it hasn't. You know what I mean? And call it another fade on Guram, but I'm rocking with Jordan, who's run. Like I said, it's up against opposition with combined records of 117 wins, 43 losses. Nothing to call home and go crazy about, but nothing to really, criticize a young man about neither, man. He's got a decent body of work, man, and I'm rocking with him to get this one done via unanimous decision. We're finding the finish in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You understand what I'm saying to you? But it's another fade on Guram for me. I'm taking the dog and Jordan. Shamil versus Dontel. I'm on Shamil to get this one done. Still, via unanimous decision, possibly a split decision. But with that being said, like I said, tread lightly, man. Tread lightly. Shamil should, I feel Shamil. The feel is for Shamil, but the gut says tread fucking lightly because you know who Dontel Mays is, man. You know what I mean? He's solid. He's well-rounded. He's fucking powerful and he's big as a motherfucker. He's not anybody that anybody can just get their hands on and, really control and do what they want to do with him. You know what I mean? He's more so the type that'll reverse that situation and put you up against the cage, man. He's a big boy, man. Heavyweight MMA. Shamil's still the pick, man. But, it is what it is. For all the reasons I said. Muhammad versus Fernandez. I don't want anything to do with this fight either. It's a complete pass. I highly suggest y'all just leave this motherfucking fight alone. Don't have anything to do with it. Not in parlays, not in bets, not in prelims, not in haymakers, not in none of that. Just leave it the fuck alone, man. See how they do. Not even in this matchup, but with who they get matched up with moving forward, man. Because both of them 0-1 inside the UFC, and this matchup right here against each other is not going to give us, is not going to allow us, in my personal opinion, the opportunity to gauge where their ceilings may or may not be inside the UFC based off of performances against each other. You know what I mean? Being redundant, but I feel like I need to leave this fucking fight alone. Again, I do rate the Mark Jacasey loss as a better loss than the Trevor Peek loss, because Mark Jacasey, in my personal opinion, is a better all-around mixed martial artist at a higher level of opposition. But other than that, I don't really necessarily understand what justifies the money line, man. You understand what I'm saying to you? We talking about who we talking about right now, man? We talking about Muhammad and Fernandez, right? Yeah, Muhammad, 12-4 up against opposition with combined records of 72 wins and 35 losses. Fernandez, 8-2 up against opposition with combined records of 82 wins, 23 losses. Not really much of a difference in the level of opposition. So we just gonna call that shit no difference, exactly the same. And one faced a higher level of opposition. I don't even want to call Trevor Peek a higher level of opposition, but one faced opposition inside the UFC. They did not pass that test, man. So this is a complete fucking pass for me. Dog or pass for me. I'll rock with Muhammad, you know what I mean? They're both 5'9", both got a 73-inch reach, you know what I mean? The striking defense is a bit horrendous on Muhammad's side, you know what I mean? But listen, we'll see how it goes, man. Pass for me. But I'll take the dog for the sake of the pick, you know what I'm saying? I know I said complete pass for the first fight of the night with Dumas and Tallulah, but everybody should know, you know what I mean? My original pick when them motherfuckers was matched up before was Dumas to get it done via split. So I'm just sticking with that pick via split, but I don't want anything to do with this shit, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, we up to Alonzo versus Azamat, and it's Azamat to get it done, you know what I mean? Via unanimous decision, possibly inside the distance. If he catches the chin clean and clips him, you know, Alonzo can be put down. Joe Alvarez, Elvis Brenner. I'm on Joe Alvarez to go ahead and hand Elvis Brenner his very first loss, his very first ever loss inside the distance via submission, man. Joe Alvarez is a much more dangerous version of Julian Erosa. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, this motherfucker is dangerous. He possesses pop in each and every one of his individual shots. He's fucking powerful in his own right. Trust and believe when I tell you that. You understand what I'm saying to you? He's dangerous absolutely anywhere this fight goes. And if, you know, Els don't like the way things are going on the feet, man, and he attempts to shoot for a takedown and wants to play that wrestle game in any way, shape, form, or fashion with Joe Alvarez, man, it is submission all day long. His takedown defense is not there because he welcomes the takedowns, because he wants to give you that front choke. He wants to lock in that guillotine, or he wants to take some type of limb home with him in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And more times than not, that's exactly what happens, man. I think he's got like 17 submissions and 3 knockouts out of his 20 wins. The boy's fucking vicious, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with him on this one. Not just to beat Brenner, but to give him his first ever loss inside the distance via submission. McKenzie versus Loopy. I'm with McKenzie via split decision. You know what I mean? I know one thing has nothing to do with the other. They have a couple similar opponents in common that Loopy took the losses to, and McKenzie was able to get the wins over. And like I said, one thing has nothing to do with the other, but it's always worth consideration. You know what I mean? Especially when we're talking about, you know, Verna Yanaroba and Angela Hill, man, because Angela Hill, Loopy fought her in 2022, and McKenzie fought her after, you know what I mean? McKenzie fought an even better version of her because Angela Hill has only been getting better and better every time she steps in the octagon with her wins and her losses over this last few years, man. I've been saying it for a long time now. That's the homie. I don't like going against the grain. I didn't go against the grain. I took, you know, a nice little L. You know what I'm saying? I covered my back door on that motherfucking fight on one parlay, so I was okay. And I brought some, I did end up, you know what I mean, securing a bag. But I lost the bag that I really wanted when Angela lost that fight to Mackenzie Dern. You know what I mean? I mean, when Angela lost that fight to Mackenzie Dern. And, you know, Loopy lost to Angela. You know what I mean? So one thing has nothing to do with the other, but it's always worth consideration. We just saw what Verna did, you know what I mean? Mackenzie was able to secure the dub over her. So when Mackenzie shows up and she's on her shit, she's a fucking problem for absolutely anybody in this division. You understand what I'm saying to you? But the same can be said for Loopy, and I'm not sleeping on her. So give me Mackenzie via split decision. I'm still on Tony as a dog over Michael Chiesa. The volume on the feet, the diversity in the striking department, the pop in the shots. You understand what I'm saying to you? And the durability still in this matchup is all on the side of Tony Ferguson, man. And when we talking about wrestling, when we talk about the wrestling department or the grappling department, that wrestling is you know, that was originally Tony's base and his foundation, so he's good there. And his jiu-jitsu, he's just as dangerous, if not more dangerous in that department than Michael Chiesa, man. I've caught Tony as high as plus 450 over here where I'm at in the casinos. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I'm all over him as far as dog plays are concerned. When this fight gets added to a parlay, it won't be a go both ways situation. If this fight gets added, it's just taking Tony. You know what I mean? I'm not throwing Michael in there and going against the grain. Just give me Tony at plus 450 and plus 3 whatever, and plus whatever else I can get him at. You understand what I'm saying to you? And hopefully we get Tony to come in here and he gives us a, you know what I mean, a prime time motherfucking Tony Ferguson, you know, send off, man. If you don't get him done inside the distance and get him out of there, just beat the shit out of him for 15 minutes and take your gloves off and get on up out of here. Take a bow, man. He's a motherfucking legend, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to take him at this number against Michael Chiesa any day of the week, man. Marlon versus Davison. This is another one for they first, man. You can give me Davison Figueroa to serve Marlon. Chito Vera, his first ever loss inside the distance. He's never been finished in his career. I don't think his career is going to end with him never being finished. And I believe Davison Figueroa is the individual to, you know, go ahead and take care of that task via KO, TKO, or a club and sub situation, or just getting him down to the ground and aggressively working for the submission and sinking it in and getting him out of there inside the distance. Give me Davison Figueroa, though, in some way, shape, form, or fashion to get this one done. But I really think he hands him his first loss inside the distance, man. Just like Joe Alvarez gives Elvis his first loss inside the distance via submission. Give me Shara over Macau all day. Macau's another one. He's tough. Only been finished once in his career. Unfortunately for him, I can see him getting finished in round 1 in this matchup right here if he's not safe. And I mean safe. And he doesn't like to play it too fucking safe. So it might be a short night, man. He might get his second TKO loss inside the distance on his resume from Nurmagomedov, man. I'm with Nurmagomedov, though. Either way you look at it. And Umar Nurmagomedov, man, lock him the fuck off. Lock him the fuck up, man. Lock him the fuck up, man. Minus 3 whatever. I'm just glad he didn't open up at minus 500 and he's not sitting at a minus 850 right now, man. I'm good with this. He's parlayed up. I locked him the fuck up. He can knock out Cory Sandhagen. Unfortunately for Cory Sandhagen, he can submit Cory Sandhagen. Unfortunately for Cory Sandhagen, he could take this young man to school for 25 minutes, but I don't know that Cory Sandhagen will survive that class. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's Umar Nurmagomedov, man. And it's Umar Nurmagomedov all motherfucking day long, man. You know, listen, I'm on Shamil, but it's just a tough matchup for Shamil, man. Dontel Mays is a tough matchup for absolutely anybody in the division, bro. I'm just keeping it fucking funky with y'all. Boy's nasty, man. He's solid, he's well-rounded, he's powerful, he's a big motherfucker. And like I said, he's not somebody you can just get your hands on and control and do whatever you want to do with in there. You know what I mean? You really got to operate it, you know, on a decent game plan, or catch this motherfucker clean and disconnecting from his consciousness, man. Or be that guy in a certain department and sink in that submission, man. And I don't know that Shamil is all those things. You feel what I'm saying to you? He doesn't necessarily check all those boxes for me. Shamil's 6'4", Dontel Mays is 6'6", man. You know what I mean? Shamil got a 78-inch reach. Dontel Mays got that 81-inch reach. That back, the boy's built. You know what I'm saying? 2 years, Shamil's youth is Dontel Mays. Shamil lands about 2 or 3 strikes at a 44% striking accuracy. Dontel lands about 3 or 4 at a 43% striking accuracy. Shamil gets hit with about 4 or 5 at a 42% striking accuracy. Dontel gets hit with about 3 or 4 at a 47% striking accuracy. This is a very closely matched matchup. Not just on paper, but trust me when I tell you, this is a very closely matched matchup, man. You know what I mean? I'd rather be making the case for Shamil at minus 188 and Victoria Dudikova at minus 200 and something than vice versa, because I'm more confident in Victoria than I am in Shamil. Dontel is nobody to be fucking playing with. He is nobody's chump stop, man. Know what I mean? 60% takedown defense against Shamil's 14% takedown accuracy. Not saying anybody's going to be shooting, not saying Shamil's going to be shooting for takedowns in this motherfucker, but with that being said, Dontel Mays is usually the one that'll reverse any type of motherfucking pressure situation and end up putting the other man up against the cage and finding, a way to put the other man down on the motherfucking mat, man. So, it's just one of those matchups, man. It's just one of those matchups, you know what I'm saying? Got to motherfucking tread lightly. Jai and Rolando, listen, Jai, he's got the motherfucking, 2-inch height advantage, you know what I'm saying? 2-inch height advantage, 3-inch height advantage, something like that. He's 6'1", I think old boy's like 5'10", 5'11", something like that, you know what I mean? 77-inch reaches, I think Bedoya's got like a 74 or 75-inch reach, you know what I mean? So he's got a couple inches on the reach, but he puts out about 2 or 3 strikes on average a minute at a 41% striking accuracy, while Bedoya is putting out about 8 or 9 on average a minute at a 50% striking accuracy. You know what I mean? The striking defense is at 45% for Jai and 52% for Rolando. I don't think anybody's shooting for takedowns in this motherfucker unless Rolando turns Jai Hubert into a takedown, turns Jai Hubert into a wrestler with his 10% takedown accuracy. I don't think that'll be working out for him either. You know what I mean? I have Rolando Bedoya getting this one done, doing a better body of work absolutely everywhere over the course of 15 minutes, if it makes it that long, if it goes that far, if it goes the distance. Bedoya by unanimous decision, possibly Bedoya inside the distance, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's that with that, you know what I mean? That is that with that. You figured, deal me? Let's run through this little parlays I already threw in, man. You know what I mean? Then I'll tap back in a little bit later on with the prelims, the main card, the whole card, the all favorites, the backdoors, the haymakers, all that good shit that my degenerate ass is putting in too, man. You know what I mean? 5 legs, man. 5 legs, 5 favorites for 5 times your money. 5 legs for plus 521. Umar Nurmagomedov, Shara Magomedov, Shamil, however you say his name, I don't want to pronounce it wrong, Azamat, however you say his name, and Davison. So Umar, Shara, Shamil, Azamat, and Davison. Those 5 legs will get you plus 521. I've already dropped a half a unit on them. I ain't gonna hold you, man. Know what I mean? I'll let you know what I put into these right here, these legs right here. You know what I mean? Because as they go up in legs, you don't have to put a whole lot on them, man. Know what I mean? Fuck with me, though. So, 5 legs for plus 521. Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison. Half a unit. Know what I mean? 6 legs. The same 5. This is 6 legs for plus 919. I have 2 6-leggers for plus 919, but that's because when I take one head out and I put another head in, they're sitting the same at the same spot on the money line. Fuck with me though. So my 5 legs for plus 521 that I put a half unit on was Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, and Davison for plus 521. Then 6 legs for plus 919 that I dropped 30 on. You know what I mean? Got 2 6-leggers here. I just took 60, chopped it in half, 30 on each. So I got 6 legs. Them same 5, Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison. Then I added in Victoria. You know what I mean? And those 6 legs got me plus 919. Just toss 30 on it. Then I take Victoria out though. You know what I mean? Same 5, Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison. And I toss Joel in there. Joel was sitting at like a minus 157, same as Victoria, minus 157. So that 6 legs is still plus 919. I just tossed the other half of the 60 on there, 30 on that. So I got 50 on half a unit, 50, whatever you want to call it. I got half a man on the motherfucking plus 521, the 5-legger. Then I took 60 for these 2 6-leggers, chopped it, threw 30 on one of them, 30 on the other one. You understand what I'm saying to you? So my 5, Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, and Davison. My 6, Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison, Victoria. My other 6, Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison, Joel. Now I'm talking about? Then I do 7 legs for plus 1571. And it's just all 7 of those motherfuckers that I personally like. Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison, Victoria, and Joel for plus 1571. You feel what I'm saying to you? Then I got the 8-leg dub on that. Then I got the 8-legger. I dropped the dub on that for plus 28,041. You feel what I'm saying to you? And all I did on that one was add McKenzie. You know what I mean? So it's the 5 legs, the 6 legs, the other 6 legs. Then I put both of them 6 together to make the 7 legs. You know what I mean? At plus 1571. Now I got my 8 legs. I add McKenzie. Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison, Victoria, Joel, and motherfucking McKenzie. You know what I mean? And those 8 get you plus 2,841. You know what I mean? Dub on that. Now my haymaker, while I was there at the window, that I went ahead and chucked in 10 legs. Those 8. Then I added my 2 dogs, Rolando and Jordan. You know what I mean? And that was motherfucker Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison, Victoria, Joel, McKenzie, Rolando, and Jordan as 2 slight underdogs for plus 18,310. Know what I mean? Something light work. That's all I'm invested right now. Half a man, $50 on the 5-legger, $30 on the 6-legger, another $30 on this 6-legger. You know what I mean? $20 on that 7-legger, $20 on that 8-legger, and I just dropped a dime on a 10-legger because it's plus 18,310. A motherfucker's hitting for damn near 19 units off 10 hours. You don't have to go crazy. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers be killing me when they talk about, man, they tap in talking about, man, I dropped 2 units on them 8 legs and them 2 legs, boo, this one better, this one shit, that. Man, you don't have to drop 2 units on 8 legs, drop a dub, man. You know what I mean? They paying you 20 and 30 units off $10. Drop 20 and $30 on them. You know what I mean? Not 2 and 300. You know what I'm saying? You want to drop 100 on something or 200 on something? I dropped a unit on 4 legs. It's the only other parlay I got in right now. It's a unit on 4 legs, man. And it's Umar, Shara, Azamat, and Davison. I left Shamil up out of that one. You know what I mean? Because in my personal opinion, Umar Nurmagomedov, if you line him up with Cory Sandhagen 10 times out of 10, he beats him 10 times out of 10. He submits him, he knocks him out, and maybe he takes him to a decision. Depends on how long, depends on if they 15 or 25 minutes, man. I honestly don't think Cory Sandhagen survives 25 minutes once with this young man. You know what I mean? But that's just my personal opinion. Shara, unfortunately for Macau, I think if they run it 10 times out of 10, he gets him out of there. Maybe 7 times by submission, 3 times via KO, TKO, inside the distance, man. Azamat versus Alonzo, the same thing. But more so on the knockouts. Maybe he knocks this man out, 5 times, takes him to the cards 5 times. You know what I mean? Knocks him out 6 times, takes him to the card 4 times. Knocks him out 7 times, takes him to the card 3 times. Who the fuck knows? But I don't see a night where Alonzo wins that fight, in my personal opinion. Again, this is just my personal opinion. And Davison Figueroa against Marlon Chito Vera. Listen, unfortunately for Marlon, man, and I fuck with Marlon, and this is with all due respect to Marlon, all due respect to his body of work, his resume, and everything in between, man. But if you schedule this fight 10 times between now and 2025 or now and 2026, because I'm not talking about Marlon Chito Vera from a few years ago or any time before this. I'm talking about Marlon Chito Vera, where he's at in his career right now in 2024. Davison Figueroa beats him just about 10 times out of 10, in my personal opinion. Where he's at in his career, where they're at in their careers right now, in 2024 and moving forward, Davis and Figueroa beats him every fucking time, in my personal opinion. Now, Shamil versus Dontel, that's a 50-50 situation in my personal opinion. Shamil don't beat that man 9, 8, 7. I couldn't be confident that he beats him 6 out of 10 times, man. If we're gonna say he beats him 5 out of 10, somebody has to edge it out. I might fuck around and get that edge out to Dontel Mays, if I'm being honest with you, man. So, you know, later on in the week, as though, you know, fights get closer and the week progresses, you know what I mean? The motherfucking wheels are turning, the gut is churning, and all the bullshit's going on, you know what I'm saying? Around these fights, you know what I'm saying? I'll cover my back doors, you know what I'm saying? I'll put those parlays in, you know what I mean? Where I'm securing my back doors on certain fights, man. Where I'll put Umar and Shara and Azamat, and then probably throw motherfucking Dontel Mays and dog money in there. You feel what I'm saying to you? Or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, we'll finagle that bagel though, you know what I mean? To make sure that that door is secured, no matter which way that outcome is, man. I'm dead ass on some of these picks though. Lock them the fuck up. In my personal opinion, lock them the fuck up. They locked in, man. You know, lock Victoria. My baby sitting down here and I done forgot about D. Lock Victoria the fuck up too, man. Victoria is a locked up situation in my personal opinion, and she's under -200 right now. So catching her at -188 or whatever she's in, and parlaying her with like Umar Nurmagomedov, who's at motherfucker -3 something. You know, Shamil, if you like him, he's up close to -3 something, -280 and shit like that, with right along with Shara, and Azamat sitting at like around -2, you know, 210 or something like that. But you know, these other numbers are what increase those parlays. But that's why we get these legs that we like, or I get these legs that I like, and then I offer the swap options, man. You know what I mean? If I feel like, listen, these 4 legs is smacking. Regardless, they smacking. Nothing else is gonna happen, but these motherfuckers, they smacking. You know what I mean? Then we start talking about swap out options on the end of those legs, man. You know what I mean? And when you put the, you know, if you got 4 that you like, and you know what I mean, you're dropping another favorite on there, so you got 5 favorites, maybe you drop half a unit on that motherfucker. But then when you take that 5th favorite out and toss that dog in, you drop just a 1/4 unit on that motherfucker, because it's still gonna pay about the same, if not a little bit more, depending on the dog tag. You don't have to go crazy, and you can turn units into multiple units, or 1 unit into multiple units, depending on how you put them together and how many you put together. You don't have to go crazy with this shit. Listen, man, run with it, run from it. That's just a few joints that I did, man. You know what I'm saying? My 4 that I dropped the unit on, $25 a head, you know what I mean? Wrap them together in the parlay, $100 on the motherfucking 4 legs, you feel what I'm saying too? It's only gonna bring back about 2 1/4 units though. It's covering my bets right here pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Worst case scenario, you know what I mean? But that was Umar, Shara, Azamat, and Davison, man. Know what I mean? Dropped the unit on them, you feel me? And Davison sitting at under -200, you know, it made it look like a little bit something, because the other ones, you know, they was crazy as far as the money line's concerned. -300 and close to -300, you know what I'm saying? So that minus under 200 where he was sitting at made it look like something to bring back, you know, a little bit more than 2 1/4 units to go ahead and pretty much cover my bets I got in. But I got that unit. I got a unit on that. You know what I mean? Then I got the half a unit on the +521. Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison. Then we got the motherfucking $30 on the 6 legs. Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison, and Victoria. Then it's $30 on the other 6 legs. Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison, and Joel. And then it's all 7 of them motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And I got a dub on them. You feel what I'm saying to you? And that's Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison, Victoria, and Joel. You feel me? Then for the 8th leg, we toss in McKenzie. I got a dub on them. And then for 10 legs, we use those same 8. Umar, Shamil, Shara, Azamat, Davison, Victoria, Joel, motherfucking McKenzie. Toss in my 2 slight motherfucking dogs, Rolando and Jordan. Drop a dime on them, because that's all you need to do to bring back 19 fucking units, you know what I mean? You ain't gotta get crazy. That's what I'm invested right now. I'm gonna tap back in a little bit, you know. little bit after dinner time. Around 7 o'clock, the video will be uploaded. Prelim video, prelim parlays, main card parlays, whole card parlays, all favorite parlays with swap out options, and you know, we gonna get into it, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Like I said, run with it, run from it. It's completely up to y'all, man. You don't gotta go crazy and overly invest, you know, to turn unit into multiple units or units into crazy multiple units. You understand what I'm saying to you when we over here talking about these parlays? You know what I mean? If y'all motherfuckers are really interested in 2-leg parlays that are going to smack all day, every day, even on Sunday, every week, talking 2-leg prop parlays and all that, man, that are going to hit for like plus 222 and give you almost 2 times your money, maybe 2.25 times your money. I mean, we could do that shit all day, man. I could do it. I promise you I could give you 2 legs all day that are going to smack. 2 legs on the money line and 2 legs on props, if that's what you want. But that's not what I do over here. I'll toss a couple of them out there for y'all this week, man. That's just not what I do, man. You know what I mean? I'm trying to put these bangers together for you, man. And more times than not, you know, they come together. Not the whole thing. Not even all, like I said before, not even all my picks. Sometimes it's the picks I put together for y'all, man. You know what I mean? Like, I took two of the most, you know, gut-wrenching motherfucking fights that was just getting on a motherfucker's nerve to be talked about last week, man. I switched them out. I ain't even put nothing crazy on it. Just $20 on 8 legs, you know what I'm saying? But the motherfucker smacked, and it's because I swapped out Leon and put him. I took the 2 motherfuckers who, in my personal opinion, at the motherfucking weigh-in and face-offs just looked jacked the fuck up. I mean, they just looked like there was 1.1% body fat on their body. And something said, man, these motherfuckers might go absolutely banini in that motherfucker, man. And a lot of motherfucking, you know, respectable individuals, you know, was kind of on that side, man. So rub it in your chest. Sometimes you got to swallow some shit. And I'm telling you, you're not always right, man. I think I had 4 events, maybe 4 UFC events straight where I was cracking on the prelims. And I was cracking on everything up until the motherfucking co-main and main event. Like, I might have lost 4 straight co-main and main events. I might have called 4 straight co-main and main events wrong. Now, I ain't gonna bullshit you, man. You know what I mean? So, you know, I came to a conclusion upon that further investigation of me going, you know, 0-4 on motherfucking co-mains and mains, smacking on prelim. But, you know, the bigger names and the more talked about fights, I went 0-4, you know what I mean, a few months back, man, on co-mains and mains. So I had to, you know, investigate and say, you know what, you know what I mean, come to the conclusion that, motherfucker, sometimes, you know, the ones that you all the way locked in on that you don't want to swap out are the ones you got to swap out. And I swapped out Leon for Bilal, jacked up looking ass, and I swapped out Christian for Gregory's jacked up looking ass, but I only put a dub on it. You know what I mean? And I wrapped it up with the rest of the motherfuckers, Muhammad Makayev, Sam Pat, you know what I mean? The rest of the motherfuckers that I was on top of, Mick, Tom, you know what I mean? All the rest of them. But I was highly invested into Leon, and unfortunately for me, Christian Leroy Duncan, when I took a look at some of my parlay, like, man, listen, I be sitting here, man, and I'll put my unit on something, my half a unit on something. We'll talk about some Jones that I'll sprinkle quarter units on. So now we talking about maybe 2.5 units I'm invested, right? But then I'll probably invest another 1.5 to 2 units on most cards, just on $10, $15, $20 on 7, 8, 9. You know what I mean? 6-leggers that are, you know, not necessarily my picks going against the grain. You got to mix and mingle. You feel what I'm saying to you? I might be sitting here Saturday night when these motherfucking fights start, man. I might have 37 parlays. Might have 37 parlays sitting in front of me, man. I might have 8 of them over this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I got my lineup, my main 4 or 5. I put a unit on them. And I got these, I put a half a unit on them. then I just start dropping quarter units or dubs, you know what I mean? So I got like $250 invested into my main motherfuckers. Then I might take my main motherfuckers and put a couple swap out options, but not necessarily the right ones all the time, you know what I mean? So I might really have 3 units over this motherfucker, you know what I mean? In highly confident parlay picks, you feel me? And then another unit and a half to 2 units over here in, you know what I mean, securing the back door, man, covering the motherfucking bases, you know, taking this motherfucker and swapping that motherfucker, man. I don't know about you, but me, I'm a fucking degenerate. So when I toss that motherfucking 4 yards or that nickel into the motherfucker, I be at the kiosk, man. I don't go to the motherfucking window. I'm not over here on these apps for the most part. You understand what I'm saying? I go right to the casino and I go right to the motherfucking kiosk, throw my cash in there and take my motherfucking time. You hear me? But you can get a little drunk up there. After you get your motherfucking picks in, man, I don't give a fuck if it's fights, if it's overs and unders, the first 5s in fucking baseball, if it's the first half in football, it don't matter what the fuck it is. You can get a little drunk up that motherfucker after you get your original picks in, and then you just start swapping shit around, you know? Just start moving, your eye just start moving shit around for your head's just moving shit around. I know me, I'm a fucking degenerate. It's what happens, man. You know what I mean? I'll be putting shit together that I would have never I'd have never looked at the fight card and put that shit together, but I'm like, all right, well, I respect this motherfucker opinion, man. And he real heavy on this, and not only is he heavy on it, but quite a few other motherfuckers. Let me go ahead and swap this one out, man. As much as it hurts, let me take this motherfucker out too and put this motherfucker in. Because it ain't, you know what I mean? And boop, 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 and this shit come together, man. You know what I mean? This shit come together. It's not always mine. I ain't always right. So when I sit here and say, you know, in 25 motherfucking UFC events, I've cashed tickets on about 18 or 19 of them. You know what I mean? Not off all my picks. Not based off of me looking at this motherfucker and being like, man, listen, man, boop, bow, bip, this is who's going to get it done. This is how it's going to run on the prelims. This is how it's going to run on the main card. And this is how we going to run it. Nah. I'm open motherfucking mind. I'm hard-headed at the same time that I'm open-minded. You understand what I'm saying? I got a hard, open mind. If that fucking makes sense, man. You know what I mean? I've learned to listen a little bit, man, when it comes to certain shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's not always necessarily my lineup that gets it the fuck done every week. It's the input from y'all. It's the input from the homies. It's the input from other motherfuckers who I respect. You know what I mean? Their opinion. And it's a mix. It's a mixture of all of that shit sometimes. It's just a mixed fucking bag of picks that I would have never personally put together on my own that get the job done, man. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. I like who I like. Those are the Jones I've already put in. I've already held y'all here, your ears hostage for too long. My dogs is just circling. They've all laid out around me on the floor. It's time to fucking go, I guess. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. I'm gonna feed them. Then I'm gonna feed myself, man. You know what I mean? And tap back in, man. Prelims, main card, whole card. And I do wanna apologize, man, because I got a little caught the fuck up in some shit I had going on, and I ain't do my due diligence and tap the fuck in with these prelims, these main cards, these whole cards, the way I was supposed to on this last card, man. You know what I mean? We gonna make up for that shit right the fuck here this evening and cash them motherfucking tickets Saturday night, Sunday morning. You know what I mean? That'll be that with that, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in.